Just take a moment to imagine yourself with a crochet hook in your hand, a skein of yarn at your side, and a steaming cup of coffee on the table next to you. As you look around, you see breathtaking views of glaciers, mountains, and wildlife, all while you're relaxing and crocheting. This past summer, my husband and I decided to go on an Alaskan cruise, which was actually my first cruise experience I've ever had, but I will say I was completely blown away by the breathtaking views in Alaska. It has probably been one of the best vacations that I've ever taken, and probably one of the best vacations that you would probably take as a crocheter. On the cruise, I got a lot of relaxation time where I could just enjoy crocheting while also taking in breathtaking views from all around me. So I hope you join me today as we explore this beautiful region in the US, from its different ports to serene wilderness. We'll dive into some vibrant towns, even discover some local yarn shops, and find some inspiration in the natural wonders around us. So grab your crochet hook and your yarn, because this journey is not just about travel, it's about creating memories and masterpieces with every stitch. So let's go ahead and embark on this Alaskan adventure together. Before we made it to our first port, my husband and I got to enjoy a relaxing day just on the open seas. We relaxed on the pool deck. Here's my husband Ben right there. And I, of course, did some crocheting. I got some of my crocheting started on the plane ride, but I was happy to sit and just enjoy a beautiful day crocheting on the pool deck. We'll talk more about what I crocheted later, but first let's talk about our first stop in Ketchikan, Alaska. My husband and I didn't have much planned in Ketchikan, Alaska. We just wanted to explore this cute and quaint town full of so much history. However, we did decide to do something a little out of the ordinary, just something for fun, and we went to the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show, which, let me tell you, they put on a great show. I was quite amazed at all the things that they did. Probably one of my favorite parts in Ketchikan was walking down Creek Street, which this is a cute little area with so many colorful buildings. It's right along the creek. It's really a truly amazing place with so many different cool shops where we actually did discover this local yarn shop, and of course I did have to go in and buy some yarn. A lot of this yarn was locally hand dyed. They did also have some knit patterns, which I don't knit, but I was tempted to buy some of the knit patterns just because they were so beautiful. But I did walk away with this skein of yarn. I haven't decided what I want to make with it yet, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Our next stop was in Juneau, Alaska, which both my husband and I decided that we had to go whale watching. It was just a non-negotiable. I had never seen whales before, and Alaska has a huge population of humpback whales. We unfortunately did not see any orcas, which I was quite sad about, but the locals said they don't see them as often, but it made up for how many humpback whales we saw on our whale watching trip. I did initially have a hard time filming the humpback whales. They were much easier to see with your own eyes. But anytime you see a little bit of steam go up in the air and you can see the top of the humpback whale's fin, that is them coming up to take a breath. On the tour, they told us that humpback whales will dive for about 5 to 10 minutes to feed and then come back up for air, diving again. So we would have to wait about 5 to 10 minutes each time the whale would come back up to the surface, but I was determined to get my perfect shot of the whale. But either way, can I just talk about how gorgeous this weather was today? I don't know how we got so lucky having 2 days full of beautiful weather. Here we saw a whole pod of whales. There was one right next to our boat, which was super exciting. So I was pretty confident that I was hopefully going to get a shot of the whale's tail. We did end up following the same whale for a little bit, so I was pretty sure that eventually it would have to show its tail, which a little fun fact about humpback whales, every whale's tail is a little bit different, kind of like a fingerprint for us, so they can determine which whale is which based off how their tail markings are. I thought that was pretty amazing. So while we were watching the whales, they knew exactly what whales they were, and they keep tabs on all of the whales that come to Alaska to feed. Also, here's another fun fact. I'm sorry if you don't like fun facts, but I love them. I absolutely love learning about new things. So I did not realize that humpback whales travel all the way from Hawaii to Alaska every year to feed in the summer. I thought that was amazing. They travel so far every year back and forth just to get food. Humpback whales are just truly amazing creatures. Also, I'm definitely going to have to crochet myself a humpback whale and maybe an orca, so if you have any pattern suggestions below, please let me know. I need something to commemorate my time whale watching. But finally, after all that waiting, I finally got to see the whale put up its tail. After whale watching, my husband and I took a trip to the Mendenhall Glacier, which, boy, was that truly a sight to see. I mean, there's really nothing like it. If you've never seen a glacier before, you need to go to Alaska to see the Mendenhall Glacier. We took a short hike to a waterfall as well, which was a very picturesque and beautiful hike. Highly recommend if you ever are in this area, which the colors just absolutely blew me away. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to crochet either a scarf or a hat of some kind with all of these colors. And of course, while we were in Juneau, we just had to spend some time exploring the town. So we decided to take the tram up to the top of the mountain, which, just look at that view. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Probably by far one of my most favorite hikes. Our next stop was in Skagway, Alaska, which we took a train to the Yukon Territory of Canada. I honestly don't even know what to say because this was the most beautiful train ride I have ever been on. Pictures will not do it justice. I mean, come on, how did we get so lucky with all this beautiful weather? But I was so taken aback by the scenery that I didn't even start crocheting while we were on the train ride. I just wanted to take everything in. But literally, when we made it to Canada, I almost wanted to cry at how beautiful the scenery was. I have never experienced anything like this. We saw these beautiful pink and purple flowers, which are called fireweed, but I honestly am thinking about designing one of these flowers into a crochet pattern next year. Honestly, such a beautiful wildflower, and these were all over in Alaska and in the Yukon Territory of Canada. But I'm definitely going to have to plan a trip back here at some point. There was so much to explore and not enough time. Just truly blown away by all of the breathtaking views and natural beauty. So Skagway was our last port to call, so we headed back to our cruise ship, which I was a little bit excited about because that meant more relaxing crochet time, just taking in all of the views around me. I mean, there was really no wrong place to sit on the cruise ship. Anywhere you looked, you saw amazing views. We would occasionally see humpback whales from our cruise ship. We saw some otters at one point and some seals. So just an amazing place to crochet. By far my favorite place I've ever crocheted. But it was so nice just to relax and crochet while we headed to one of my favorite destinations, which was Glacier Bay National Park. Oh, and I can't forget to mention the beautiful sunsets that we had every day. The morning we made it to Glacier Bay, my husband and I made sure to get up extra early to secure a great spot for viewing the glaciers. So we got on the top deck and we just enjoyed some time reading and crocheting. I finished the front panel of my vest that I was working on and was just enjoying the views as we relaxed, waiting until we made it inside of Glacier Bay National Park. But on our way there, I was unfortunately unable to get a good video or picture of the wildlife that we saw, but we saw some brown bears along the coast, some mountain goats, and some cute little otters swimming in the ocean around us. I'm going to stop talking here and just let you take in all of the views that we got to experience. I know it's not the same as being there in person, but trust me, you're going to want to watch this next part. So the last portion of our trip, we hopped off our cruise ship and spent some time in Denali National Park. I knew our good luck was going to run out in terms of weather because it rained the whole time we were in Denali, but we still enjoyed our time very much, doing some hiking and just exploring the landscape around us. I was thoroughly impressed, and we're definitely going to have to head back there. Hopefully the weather will be nicer next time. But I saw more of my favorite pink and purple flowers, so I was super happy about that. We also ended up exploring the small town of Talkeetna, Alaska, where I discovered this mobile yarn shop in an RV, which I thought was the coolest thing I've ever heard of, so I ended up coming away with some handmade stitch markers, which I loved the colors and how simple the design was. We finished out our trip ziplining in Talkeetna, which was such a fun time. I loved it. I'll definitely want to go ziplining again. But ziplining in the rain was truly a one-of-a-kind experience. This was a great way to end our trip. So I did do a little pre-planning before we started packing for our Alaskan cruise. If you want to learn more travel and crochet tips, I do have a YouTube video available on my channel that you can watch for all of the crochet and travel tips that I use whenever I travel. But anyway, so first I wanted to decide what crochet project I wanted to bring. I did end up bringing 2 crochet projects. I only ended up working on one of them because we ended up doing a lot more in Alaska than I thought we would. I thought we would have a little bit more downtime, but my husband and I wanted to experience as much as we possibly could. But I decided to bring, and what project I worked on while I was on my cruise was the Crossroads vest by the Turtle Trunk. This was actually my first wearable pattern, so I was a little bit nervous about picking this to work on my Alaskan cruise, but I just wanted to go for it. I love the look and design of it, so I was like, why not? I'm gonna try something new. We're going on a new experience. So I was hoping that I would finish this on my Alaskan cruise. A little spoiler alert, I unfortunately did not finish it in time, but I did have a lot of fun crocheting while I was on my cruise. Which I am wearing the vest today. I did end up completing it after the cruise, once I got home. But here is the completed vest. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much for joining me today on this unforgettable journey through Alaska. From visiting local yarn shops to gathering inspiration from nature's masterpiece, this adventure has been a dream come true. I hope that you found inspiration just as much as I did while I was in Alaska. If you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to give this a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more adventures while I crochet. If you've been on an Alaskan cruise, I'd love to hear about your experience down in the comments below. If you crochet and travel, definitely make sure to share those as well. What projects are you working on while you crochet? But until next time, keep exploring, keep crocheting, and keep creating memories with every stitch. Happy crocheting, everyone. Bye.